I believe it's his first time getting up behind the pulpit to teach and preach in the church or the cafe, so let's give Matt Verran a round.
Hooray for Matt.
I want to say thanks to Amber for the song to pick out because our God never changes. He always stays the same. Full of mercy, but his wrath, it's there too. But he still loves us. And those songs were perfect in the beginning for what I'm going to share tonight. And I do want to say first that revelation that we all have, I mean, this is a revelation for me. First, that when I fully, understand and understood it, then I'm able to share it with you. So, I hope it does. Basically, how many of us go out and complain over something not going on with it? A lot of us? Yeah. All the time? Now you've heard this message, what, 3 or 4 weeks ago? Yeah. And I think it took to heart. It was a week and a half afterwards. We need to study up on it a little bit. A week and a half after, he basically displeases the Lord. A lot of people in the world, a lot of Christians, don't really know that. They just see it as, oh, this, sin is something that I do wrong. And, well, it's a lot more than that. I mean, it is wrong, but it's anything displeasing in the Lord's eyes. So, I guess I'll start in Exodus chapter 15. This is now when they came to Marah. They could not drink the waters of Marah, for they were bitter. Therefore the name of it was called Marah. And the people complained against Moses, saying, what shall we drink? So he cried out to the Lord showed him a tree. When he cast it into the waters were made sweet. There he made a statute and an ordinance for them, and there he tested them, and said, if you diligently heed the voice of the Lord your God, and do what is right in his sight, give ear to his commandments, and keep all of his statutes, and put none of these diseases on you, which I have brought on the Egyptians, for I am the Lord who heals. So with that being said, let's go to Exodus 16. Verse 2. And the whole congregation of the children of Israel complained again against Moses and Aaron in the wilderness. And the children of Israel said to them, oh, that we had died by the hand of the Lord in the land of Egypt, when we sat by the pots of meat, and when we ate bread to the full. For you have brought us out into this wilderness to kill us whole assembly with hunger. You see what's going on is people always have desires for certain things, and when they don't get it, they start to murmur, complain, and because it's something that they're used to having. So basically, when they don't get their way, that's when a lot of people how can I say it? They just start to complain, and then things start going downhill bad for them. So we'll continue in verse 6, same chapter. And Moses and Aaron said to all the children of Israel, at evening you shall know that the Lord has brought you out of the land of Egypt. And in the morning you shall see the glory of the Lord, for he hears your complaints against you and against us. Even though when we complain in our head sometimes for man can't hear it, God always. Just like I was sharing, a couple weeks ago with you about reading in a book. Remember, Jennifer?
Vaguely.
Our thoughts in our head, even when we read stuff that,
Oh, yeah, now I remember.
well, it all ties right in.
Oh, lovely.
And the scripture you shared tonight too, be anxious for nothing. I mean, everything, a lot of times I've seen you get up and share scripture, and I want to encourage you to keep doing it, because there's been a lot of times that the scriptures you shared have gone right along with the service. Tonight is one. So, continue, please. Keep seeking it. So, let's see. Where else? So, basically what I want to do is give you a few examples of how the people were complaining against the Lord. So we'll go to Exodus 17. Verse 1. Then all the congregation of the children of Israel set out on their journey from the wilderness of Sin, according to the commandment of the Lord, and camped in, I don't know these words, but Rephidim? Rephidim. But there was no water for the people to drink. Again, no water. The Lord was out there, He's provided for them. He said He would provide for them. All the miracles He did in Egypt, people forgot. I've told a lot of people a lot of times too, even in marriages, relationships, family, whatever. Even at the good times, outweigh the bad times, we tend to forget about the good times, because the bad times hurt so much more. They touch us so much deeper. I mean, it could be a 50-1 ratio. And it's still, you can remember the bad stuff over the good. So here, that's being shown right here. I mean, this is the second time they didn't have water, but the Lord already provided for them once, plus with all the miracles we see. I mean, Jesus said, blessed are those who believe and haven't seen. These people right here were fortunate enough to see God in His miracles. Therefore, the people contended with Moses and said, give us water that we may drink. So Moses said to them, why do you contend with me? Why do you tempt the Lord? And the people thirsted there for water. The people complained against Moses and said, why is it you have brought us out of Egypt to kill us and our children and our livestock with thirst? So Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, what shall I do with this people? They're almost ready to stone me. The Lord said to Moses, go on before the people and take with you some of the elders of Israel. Also take in your hand your rod, which you struck the river, and go. Behold, I will stand before you on the rock in Horeb, and you shall strike the rock, and water will come out of it, that the people may drink. Now I want you to remember that part where He tells them to strike the rock. Because later on, when He draws water yet a third time, Moses did it out of anger and actually disobeyed God. So Moses did so on the sight of the elders. They called the name of the place Massah and Meribah. So, we'll go to Numbers. Numbers chapter 11. And I want to remind you guys too that it took 40 years to go through the wilderness. It shouldn't take what, a week? Yeah. A week's journey? Numbers 11, verse 1. Now when the people complained, it displeased the Lord. And the Lord heard it, and His anger was aroused. So the fire of the Lord burned among them, and soon some in the outskirts of the camp. Then the people cried out to Moses, and when Moses prayed to the Lord, the fire was quenched. You know, how many times do you complain? You know, should you complain and before, how many times have you complained about the same thing before somebody got mad at you? You know, Adam, with your line of work, and, you know, on commission, I know exactly, we kind of talked about this up camp a little bit this past week. But it's pretty amazing that the Lord sent this fire, just burn them just like that. And that's just, these are only just a few times, you know, that I've shared. There's a lot more times that we complain. I mean, I could go on for hours. So, then we'll continue on, verse 10 in the same chapter. So then Moses heard the people weeping through their families. Now this is after the Lord sent this fire. Same chapter, I would imagine probably the same day. Burned people up for complaining. Moses prayed for them, so the Lord sent his grace and mercy on the rest of the people. So this is verse 10 of the same chapter. Then Moses heard the people weeping throughout their families, everyone at the door of his tent, and the anger of the Lord was greatly aroused. Moses also was displeased. So Moses said to the Lord, "Why have you afflicted your servant? Why have I not found favor in your sight? That you have laid the burden of all these people on me, that I conceive all these people, that I beget them, that you should say to me, carry them in your bosom, as a guardian carries a nursing child, to the land where you swore to your fathers. Where am I to get meat to give to all these people? For they weep all over me, saying, give me meat that we may eat. I am not able to bear all these people alone, because the burden is too heavy for me. If you treat me like this, please kill me here and now. If I have found favor in your sight, do not let me see my wretchedness." Right now, I mean, he's so upset at the people because they see over and over and over the miracles, how God is taking care of them. And this, so he's starting to get mad.
So you mean literally, like not just that he was angry and then his anger was kindled, but you mean literally they were burned?
They were burned up.
Just so I make sure.
Go ahead and speak out. Vision is why.
I guess sometimes, you know, like people take it as just being angry and then it was like a fire burning.
No, it was an actual fire. So, we'll continue on. So the Lord said to Moses, "Gather to me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom you know to be the elders of the people and officers over them. Bring them to the tabernacle of meeting, that they may stand there with you. Then I will come down and talk with you there. I will take of the Spirit that is upon you." And he's talking to Moses. "And will put the same upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with you, that you may not bear it yourself alone. And you shall say to the people, consecrate yourselves for tomorrow, and you shall eat meat. For you have wept in the hearing of the Lord, saying, who will give us meat to eat? For it is well with us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give you meat, and you shall eat. You shall eat not 1 day, not 2 days, not 5 days, nor 10, nor 20 days, but for a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils." You guys ever heard that saying, be careful what you ask for? You just might get it. And more than what you want. Until it comes out of your nostrils, it becomes loathsome to you, because you have despised the Lord who is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why did we ever come out of Egypt? And Moses said, the people who I am among are 600,000 men on foot. That's not counting the men and the women and children. Yet you have said, I will give them meat, that they may eat for a whole month. Shall flocks and herds be slaughtered for them to provide enough for them? Or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them to provide enough for them? And the Lord said to Moses, has the Lord's arm been shortened? Now you shall see whether what I say will happen to you. Now do you see what's happening here? Moses is getting angry, and he's starting to doubt. So when one person complains a lot and keeps complaining, it brings everybody else down. And they start acting the same way. Same chapter, we'll go verse 31. And this is where he actually sends the quail. Now I went out from the Lord, and brought quail from the sea, and left them fluttering near the camp. About a day's journey on this side, and about a day's journey on the other side, all around the camp, about 2 cubits above the surface of the ground. People stayed up all that day, all that night, and all the next day to gather the quail. Kind of like Black Friday, right? People fight over all the good deals. They're going to go out and take everything they can and, basically be a glutton. He who gathered least gathered 10 homers, and they spread them out for themselves all around the camp. But while the meat was still between their teeth, before it was chewed, the wrath of the Lord was aroused against the people, and the Lord struck them with a very great plague. So he called the name of that place Verran, because they buried people who had yielded to cravings. A lot of people sit there and talk about how good God is, how merciful He is, how full of grace He is. Well, He is, but His wrath, just like any father, there's a time when He's had enough. But His mercy still goes on. It still goes on. After all this, just like the songs that we picked out, He never changes. I want you guys to keep that in mind too. He's the same God in the Old Testament as He is in the New Testament. He never changes. So, Numbers 12, next chapter. And it is pretty amazing. This has got to be like day by day by day. This is going on. People just keep doing the same thing over and over. That's what the definition of insanity, Keith? Chapter 12, verse 1. And this is actually really interesting. Then Miriam and Aaron spoke against Moses. Now Miriam was Aaron's wife. Aaron was the high priest. And they spoke against Moses. Because of the Ethiopian woman which he had married. For he had married an Ethiopian woman. So they said, has the Lord indeed spoken only through Moses? Has He not spoken through us also? And the Lord heard him. Now the man Moses was very humble, more than all men who were on the face of the earth. And suddenly the Lord said to Moses, Aaron, and Miriam, come out, you 3, to the tabernacle of meeting. So the 3 came out. Now mind you, Moses had no idea that Miriam and Aaron were talking about. No idea. Then the Lord came down in the pillar of cloud and stood at the door of the tabernacle and called Aaron and Miriam, and they both went forward. Then He said, hear now my words. If there is a prophet among you, I, the Lord, make myself known to him in a vision. I speak to him in a dream. This is not so with my servant Moses. He is faithful in all my house. I speak with him face to face, even plainly and not in dark sayings, and he sees the form of the Lord. Why then were you not afraid to speak against my servant Moses? That's interesting because you have a pastor, we're talking, spiritual leader over top of it. Basically, that's what Moses went over. The whole congregation of Israel. You have 2 people speak against him because they wanted what he had. He couldn't get it. The only reason he probably couldn't get it was because the Lord knew their hearts. I mean, look how much Aaron's sons, how much evil they did. You guys remember that? So the angel of the Lord was aroused against them. Oh, I just want to say too, just be careful what you say, especially against your spiritual leader. Because, well, right here, it's proof that he does not take that lightly. So the anger of the Lord was aroused against them, and he departed. And when the cloud departed from above the tabernacle, suddenly Miriam became leprous, white as snow. Then Aaron turned toward Miriam, and there she was, a leper. So Aaron said to Moses, "O my Lord, please do not lay this sin on us, in which we have done foolishly, in which we have sinned." This is the first time anyone has ever mentioned that they have sinned against the Lord. Maybe they finally realize after fire, burning up people, burning up getting, and then when they eat the quail, how they sent a plague on them, maybe. We do as a people tend to learn things the hard way.
That's right.
I'm one for that too. Please do not let her be as one dead, whose flesh is half consumed when he comes out of his mother's womb. So Moses cried out to the Lord, saying, "Please heal her, oh God, I pray." And each time any of this stuff happens to the Israelites or anyone, Moses prayed for it. And it stopped. So right there shows the Lord's mercy. Even though his wrath is there, his mercy is always there too. I mean, he could have easily just given up on it. And he actually said that he's going to. Later on, you'll hear that. Let's go to Numbers 14. Verse 1. So this is only 2 chapters away from where we just were. Like I said, I think it's like a day or two out of the way between chapters. I'm hoping it's not the same day. So all the congregation lifted up their voices and cried, and the people wept that night, and all the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron. And the whole congregation said to them, "If only we had died in the land of Egypt." Now, how many times have they said, "If only we had died"? I mean, every single time they complained, they said the same exact thing. If we had only died in this wilderness, why has the Lord brought us to this land to fall by the sword, that our wives and children should become victims? Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt? So now they're trying to shame. They're trying to shame God. Moses, I'm not even sure really now if they believe there is one. Even though they've seen it, it doesn't make any sense. It's not fair. Would it not be better for us to return to Egypt? So they said to one another, "Let us select a leader to return to Egypt." Direct rebellion. The Lord promised them a land full of milk and honey, and it was basically a week or 2 journey. Okay, so same chapter, let's go to verse 20. Then the Lord said, "I have pardoned according to your word." Now this is after Moses keeps praying to the Lord, asking for mercy and grace. He says, "I have pardoned according to your word, but truly as I live, all the earth shall be filled with the glory of the Lord. Because all these men who have seen my glory, and the signs which I did in Egypt and in the wilderness, and have put me to the test now these 10 times, I've only covered a couple of them, and have not heeded my voice, and certainly shall not see the land which I swore to their fathers, nor shall any of those who rejected me see it." And that goes back to where I opened up in Exodus. He says, if you follow my words, listen to my, and do my, follow me, listen to my commandments and do them, you will be blessed. And in Matthew chapter 5, the verse 9 verses shows what it actually means to be a blessed Christian. I shared that, I'll finish there at the memorial, running around. But we can turn it real quick. Matthew chapter 5. Verse 1 through 10. And seeing the multitudes, he went up on a mountain, and when he was seated, his disciples came to him. Then he opened his mouth and taught them, saying, Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. Blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Now that's actually pretty interesting there. A lot of people consider that death. Well, when you mourn more over. You mourn over more stuff than just death. And it's already, it's already covered when you mourn over stuff. Got to write a rule for that. But anyhow, blessed are those who mourn, for they shall be comforted. Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they shall be filled. And blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Blessed are the pure in heart, for they shall see God. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the sons of God. And blessed are those who are persecuted for righteousness' sake, and theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's the basic, just the basic stuff of Christianity. If you are any of those, then you are blessed. Whether you have everything you have or not, you're still blessed. It's just you're blessed beyond material things. So back in Numbers 14. Start up in verse 26. And the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, How long shall I bear with this evil congregation and complain against me? I have heard the complaints which the children of Israel make against me. Say to them, As I live, says the Lord, just as you have spoken in my hearing, so I will do to you. The carcasses of you who have complained against me shall fall in the wilderness. Again, be careful what you say with your tongue. When you don't make oaths, don't make vows, because you tie yourself to it. And like a lot of people ever heard that saying, vows or promises are made to be broken. Well, promises are vows. Yeah, and you are to uphold your vows. But vows are made to be broken too, unfortunately. Because you spoke that out. The carcasses of you who have complained against me shall fall in the wilderness. All of you who were numbered according to your entire number, from 20 years old and above, except for Caleb and Joshua. Shall by no means enter the land which I swore I would make you dwell in. But your little ones, whom you said would be victims, I will bring in, and they shall know the land which you have despised. But as for you, your carcasses shall fall in this wilderness, and your sons shall be shepherds in the wilderness for 40 years. And bear the brunt of your infidelity until your carcasses are consumed in the wilderness. Now, a lot of people don't even know why it took 40 years to go through the wilderness. The Lord was testing, and the Lord never tempts. He was testing the Israelites. He knew their heart, but he had to show them. He had to teach them, the ways, and show them what he wanted, who he actually was, so they could teach their children. And we're to actually do the same. The best that we can, and every day should be better and better. According to the number of the days in which he spied out the land, 40 days, for each day you shall bear the guilt 1 year. Namely 40 years, and you shall know my rejection. I, the Lord, have spoken this. I will surely do this to all this evil congregation who are gathered together against me. In this wilderness they shall be consumed, and there they shall die. Now the men whom Moses sent to spy out the land, and who returned and made the congregation complain against him by bringing a bad report of the land, which was a false report. Those very men who brought the evil report about the land died by the plague before the Lord. Right then and there. But Joshua the son of Nun and Caleb the son of Jephunneh. Say that again. Jephunneh remained alive. The men who went to spy out the land. They remained alive because they brought back proof and even said, and they spoke against the other 10. It said the land is full. You know, we need to trust the Lord. Land is full of milk and honey. Let's see. Now let's go to Numbers 60, verse 41. On the next day, all the congregation of the children of Israel complained against Moses and Aaron, saying, "We have killed the people of the Lord." It's just amazing how soon they forget. Now it happened when the congregation had gathered against Moses and Aaron that they turned toward the tabernacle of meeting, and suddenly the cloud covered it. And the glory of the Lord appeared. Moses and Aaron came before the tabernacle of meeting. The Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Get away from among the congregation, that I may consume them in a moment." And the Lord's just fed up. He's already told them that it's going to take them 40 years to get in. Maybe he wanted to just consume them all and have their children go in right away. But he was definitely angry. Now, let's see. So Moses said to Aaron, "Take a censer and put fire in it from the altar. Put incense on it, take it quickly to the congregation, and make atonement for them. For wrath has gone out from the Lord, the plague has begun." Then Aaron took it as Moses commanded and ran into the midst of the assembly. Already the plague had begun among the people, and when he put incense in it and made atonement, the plague started to stop. So once again, you got the high priest, or basically two people, praying against all of Israel. And then the Lord's mercy and grace ceases. Everything that ceases just comes down and covers it. Even after all the times to do this. All right, let's go to Numbers 20. I'll show you the difference of when Moses struck the rock the first time and what he's supposed to do here. When people are complaining, I'll give you a quick rundown. People are complaining that there's no water again. So the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, "Take the rod, you and your brother Aaron, gather the congregation together, speak to the rock before their eyes." He wanted them to speak to it so that they would see the glory of God. Because honestly, I think the people were thinking Moses was actually doing, striking the rock, praying forth all the water flows. So speak to the rock before the eyes, and it will yield its water. Thus you shall bring water from them out of the rock, and give drink to the congregation and their animals. So Moses took the rod from the Lord, as he commanded when Moses and Aaron gathered the assembly together before the rock. And he said to them, "Hear now, you rebels, must we bring water for you out of this rock?" And Moses lifted his hand and struck the rock twice. Now he was supposed to just speak to it. So out of Moses' own anger, he disobeyed God, even though he thought he was doing what God told him to do. When people complain, it clouds our thoughts. completely. And we start, well, you know, I mean, when you're around people, you start to act like them. You do. You start to become the people you hang around with. So that was Moses' sin, and after that he said that's when the Lord said to Moses, he says, you shall not enter the land either. He says, you see it, but that's it. So, and in Numbers 21, it says basically that this is the first time the people actually acknowledged that they were sinning against the Lord. It says, let's see, in Numbers 21, verse 4, then they journeyed from Mount Hor by the way of the Red Sea to go to the land of Edom, and so the people became discouraged on the way. Spoke to Moses and God. He spoke against God and Moses. Why have you brought us out of Egypt to die in the wilderness? Again, it's the same complaint. So the Lord sent fiery serpents among the people, and they bit the people, and the people died. And then the people finally said, we have sinned, for we have spoken against the Lord and against you. Pray to the Lord that he take the serpents away. So, what I have learned about all this is that it is okay to vent, to get your feelings out, you know. Because if you don't do that, everything's going to build up, and then they're going to explode. But there is a difference between venting just to get things off your heart and off your mind, than it is to sit here and complain about the same thing over and over and over again without doing something about it. I mean, I'll give you a few examples. There's a lot more in there. And the Lord always wants us to trust and lean on Him. And these Israelites, when they came out of Egypt, the Lord gave them bread every day. And then they weren't happy, they weren't satisfied. So they asked for meat. So the Lord sent them meat. He did it 3 times. He gave them all kinds of meat. But they still weren't satisfied with nothing. Yeah, I'd like to read something that I wrote back in February about what it means to actually be happy. It's basically a sentence that says, I want happiness. I want to break it down. It says, I want happiness. Well, don't we all? Don't we all want to be happy? Well, how does one obtain happiness? Can you get it from things? No. Can happiness be bought? No. What can make us happy when all that we have is at our fingertips? I mean, we are. Everything we want, we can look at it. It's called instant gratification. Can we be happy when we desire things? No. Why is that? Because most of us, after we get something we desire, after you finally get that thing that you thought you really wanted, how long are you happy for? How long are you happy with it before you want the next bigger and best thing, bigger and better? So happiness still isn't gained. Even after you get your desire, you're still not happy. So I'll ask again, how does one obtain happiness? Let's break this sentence down. You take the I out, because it's selfishness. God resists the proud and brings grace to the humble. You know, Proverbs 28:29, it's written there lots of times. And even in the New Testament, it's referred to 4 times. So you take the I out of it, out the selfishness out of that statement, and you're left with want happiness. Well, take out the word want, that's desire. Honestly ask yourself, how many times, I don't write the best, how many times have you desired a certain thing and once you were able to obtain it, how long were you satisfied with it before you wanted something else and you started talking about that? Yes, God will give you your heart's desires, but remember, since we're being transformed into God's image, our heart's desires should be His heart's desires. And His will, not ours. His heart's desire, the Lord's heart's desire, for everyone, for us, for everyone, is to be saved and have eternal life. I mean, that's His ultimate will for all of us to do. To go out and win souls. And do His work for them. His will, heart's desires to do good, so should your will be also. So when you take the first two words out of the first sentence, I want happiness, you are left with just happiness. And that is how you obtain your happiness. You don't want it, you don't, desire stuff. You don't. It's just, and I like that end in John chapter 13. John chapter 13, verse 12. Sat down again. He said to them, do you know what I have done to you? Do you know what I've done for you? You call me teacher and Lord, and you say, well, for so I am. If I then, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also ought to wash one another's feet. For I have given you an example that you should do as I have done for you. Most assuredly, I say to you, a servant is not greater than his master, nor is he who is sent greater than he who sent him. If you know these things, blessed are you if you do them. And he's just full of grace and mercy, but he isn't God of wrath.
Amen.
His wrath is going to return.
Oh, yeah.
We're in a season of grace and mercy, but we can't abuse it.
Amen.
He will return. People will die for the second time. So, I don't know about you guys, but I'm really glad really happy for what Jesus actually did and accomplished through the cross. Or else you could actually be consumed like that for your own